The topic of interpreting house plans pops up in past exam papers really often, and there are different questions that can be asked. To understand house plans, let's look at some basic symbols that are used. Here we can consider some basic things that are used on a house plan. Firstly, solid walls are indicated with a thick outline like that, while sometimes you will also see an open line that means that the wall doesn't go all the way to the top or that there's a little opening in the house, just like a walkway through. Windows are indicated with a white rectangle in the middle of the wall with a small little line through it. A door is a quarter of a circle. Sometimes you might also see a sliding door, which is two white little pieces like this. The rest of these are fairly straightforward. A bath, a toilet, a shower. A double kitchen sink, which can also be a single bed, there's a double version of this, can also be seen in this floor plan on the side here. And sometimes there's also other furniture. So if we look here, they've also got what looks like a dining room table, a lounge suite. That definitely looks like a TV set. And what's interesting in this specific floor plan is that they show the stairs on both floors, on both levels of this floor plan, one going up and one going down. You could also be asked to do certain calculations from a house plan, and for that it's quite important that you look at all the measurements that were given. Also, when you need to draw your own house plan, make sure that you show all the measurements of every single room. You could be asked to calculate the area of a specific room, so for that make sure that you have the length and the width of that specific room. So let's consider that in a bit more detail when we look at scale. Making scale drawings is always a nice idea to include in projects. So understanding scale basically just comes from your knowledge of ratios. Let's consider this in more detail. If you have found a nice house plan that you would like to draw to scale, let's consider the different measurements that were given in this case. So the length of this house plan is 12,2 meters. That is the real life measurement. If you now want to draw that, you can't draw 12.2 meters on a piece of paper, so you might decide to make it 12,2 centimeters. So this is on the drawing. A scale is when we compare the real life to the drawing, almost like we did with ratios. But if you remember from ratios, they are always in the same unit. So how will I make 12,2 into centimeters as well? Well, you might know that there are 100 centimeters in a meter. Think of the word century or cents in a rand. So I have to multiply this by 100. So that's 1,220 centimeters compared to 12.2 centimeters. So how will I simplify this into a ratio of 1 to something? Well, remember that you can use your calculator and use the fraction button to do this. So if you say 12.2 over 1,220, you will see that it simplifies to 1 over 100. Now, maybe 12.2 is too small for you, so you would like to make it a little bit bigger, because if you have an A4 page, 12.2 centimeters is rather small. So let's try a different example. What if you do just exactly double that? If you make it 24.4 centimeters. So once again, let's convert the real life measurement to centimeters as well. And you now have 24.4 centimeters. Once again, use that fraction button on your calculator to see how you can simplify this. And you will get a simplified answer of 1 to 50. So your drawing will be 50 times smaller than the real life length of this house. And you can go through the same process for the width of the house. it's now time for you to try this on your own. So go onto Pinterest, go onto Google, and see if you can find a nice house plan that you would like to redraw to scale. Always remember to include all measurements as well as the scale at the bottom of your drawing.